Hi, this is Alex from devstories.eu. Deep Agents, Episode 3 of 16. Giving an autonomous agent raw access to your computer is an excellent way to accidentally delete your home directory. If an agent decides to reorganize your files or test a script, you need to ensure it is confined to a safe area. This is why we use the pluggable file system. When you give a deep agent tools to read or edit a file, those tools do not wire directly to your operating system. Instead, they map to a backend. A backend is a storage environment that dictates where and how files actually live. The default environment is the StateBackend. This is an ephemeral ghost drive held entirely in memory. Suppose you ask an agent to write a quick draft of an email or manipulate some text data. The agent creates the file, reads it back, and edits it, all within the state backend. When your script finishes running, that memory is cleared and the files vanish. It is completely isolated and perfectly safe. But what happens when you want the agent to generate a real Python project on your local disk? Memory is no longer enough. You upgrade the agent's permissions by attaching a FilesystemBackend backend. This wires the agent's file tools to your actual hard drive. To keep this secure, you initialize the backend with a parameter called virtual mode set to true. Here is the key insight. Virtual mode creates a strict path boundary. You define a base directory and the agent operates inside it. If the agent tries to read a sensitive system file outside that folder, the backend blocks the request. It traps the agent in a designated workspace. However, there is a dangerous misconception here. Many developers assume that enabling virtual mode creates a completely secure sandbox. It does not. The file system backend only controls file operations. If you also want your agent to run terminal commands, you have to attach a third type of backend called the LocalShellBackend. The LocalShellBackend gives the agent a new tool called execute. This allows the agent to run shell commands on your host machine. If you attach a local shell backend, the virtual mode of your file system backend will not protect you from destructive terminal commands. The agent could execute a system-wide deletion script, and the shell would run it, completely bypassing your file path restrictions. File access and shell execution are distinct capabilities mapped to distinct backends. If your agent only needs to write code, stick to the file system backend. Only attach the local shell backend if the agent absolutely must compile or run that code locally. The most secure autonomous agent is not the one with the smartest prompts, but the one deployed with an ephemeral state backend that physically cannot touch your host operating system. That's it for today. Thanks for listening. Go build something cool.